and tips that it takes to become and stay a successful homeowner. Today we're talking with Ryan about the top 3 common mistakes that casual home buyers make. Let's go inside. So what is it you want to talk about today, Ryan?
Well, today what I want to talk to you about is the 3 most common mistakes that people, not 100% dedicated, but just those people looking for a new home make.
What are they?
Well, the first one is going to be obtaining new debt, and this happens quite often. And what I'm talking about are people who are just casually looking for a house. They go out and they also want, a new credit card, or maybe they want some new furniture, or something along those lines.
Okay, so don't go out and buy a new Escalade is what you're saying.
Exactly. If in any time in the next year you want to buy a new house, don't go out and make that big purchase, or at least don't finance that next purchase, because it can ruin your credit score is one thing. It could also ruin what's called your debt ratios, which means your debt to income, meaning you can't afford less of a house if you obtain any sort of new debt.
So they would count that new car payment or whatever is against you then?
Exactly.
Okay.
The next thing is going to be renewing your lease. And unfortunately right now, when you run out of your lease, if you renew it thinking that it's okay, I can obtain, I can break out of that lease if I find a home, well, that's not necessarily the case. Management companies are more and more dedicated to their paperwork, and they're going to focus more on not allowing you to break that lease.
So landlords want to keep good renters.
Exactly. So if you are approved for a home, your landlord's going to be more stringent on keeping you in that property, forcing you to stay there with threats of judgments, or even if they say they can let you leave, they may come back afterwards and throw a judgment on you after you own the home, which obviously is going to stick onto your new property, which can cause a major problem.
That makes sense, since it's harder to find good people nowadays.
Exactly. And the third thing is, you don't want to fall in love with a property before you get your pre-approval.
Because then you won't know what you qualify for if you don't have a pre-approval.
Exactly. And if you have someone go out and they fall in love with a property that may be a little bit out of that price range, this is a very emotional project when you're buying a home. If you fall in love with one property and then you find out that you can't even close to afford that property, you may wipe yourself out of wanting to buy a property in the long run. So
what you think you can afford, you might also be forgetting about a lot of the other things, such as utility bills or different debts that you have. And some people don't think about that when they're looking at a house and what they can afford. The bank will know exactly what you can afford.
Exactly. Just because your friend or cousin, sister, brother, they have a nice house doesn't mean you can necessarily afford that. So you always want to make sure before you get real serious, you go out and you find a good loan officer to give you a pre-approval.
If you like the information you saw here today, you can check us out on our website at insidershow.com, or you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks again for watching The Insider Show, where we're keeping it real